ghost is dead.
Hey guys, it's Kiana. Welcome back to my channel. Kiana is reading. So today, The Taking of Jake Livingston came out by, I think it's Ryan Douglas. It's Ryan Douglas, and this is one of my most anticipated books of the year. So I just could not wait. I had to read it as soon as it came out. So I am going to start this today. And since this is my most anticipated read, I wanted to do a reading vlog because I also did a reading vlog for one of my other anticipated reads, Ace of Spades, and deleted all the footage because I'm an idiot, always an idiot. But I am going to start The Taking of Jake Livingston now because I love black people in horror. What's better than black people in horror? Well, yeah, so I'm going to do that, and hopefully I like it, and I'll update you guys as we go. Update her. So I just came from a funeral, not really just, but I went to my grandfather's funeral today, which means the insta puppy, and it was depressing as most funerals are. I don't usually like going to funerals. I hate going to funerals. Absolutely hate it. And I've gone to 3 funerals in such a short time because this year my grandfather died, last year my grandmother died, we're down to 1 grandparent left, and the year before that my grandma died. So basically all the old people on my father's side are like dead now. So yeah, they had me read the Bible. I haven't read the Bible in legit years. I was reading some verse, and I was at somewhere where I had to like say throw away, and I said throw up instead, and I was like, damn, why y'all made me read the Bible? Anyway, so I read the Bible. It was a good funeral, depressing. He was in the JDF, so he was a military man, so we had it at the wherever they bury soldiers. So yeah, and that's that. Also got a new book. I went to pick it up after the funeral, so I got Uzumaki by Junji Ito, and I absolutely love Junji Ito. I'm a horror girl, so I love reading horror manga, and this is so I got my phone only to realize half of what I've already said didn't record, so I'm going to say it over again. In love with Junji Ito. I want to collect all of Junji Ito's manga. And where does fly come from? So it's getting really freaking hot in here because I turned off my fan so it doesn't you know, be loud. I'm sorry, it's way too hot right now. So far I'm vibing with Jake Livingston. Love the writing. We've met like Jake, Benji, and Sawyer, which is a serial killer, the school shooter. Is it? No, he's not a serial killer. Well, he's a school shooter. So we've met him, and so we know it's dual points of views. So we getting from the point of view of Sawyer, we're getting the point of view of Jake. I really like Jake's character. To me, he feels kind of apathetic. Apathetic. We're going with that word, apathetic. I mean, he's been single since he was like 5. I'd shut off my emotions as well, just to like, if I have to deal with seeing ghosts die over and over again, especially if they have really gruesome deaths, and we don't want to go through all of that. So really vibing with Jake's character. And for like Sawyer, we get his point of view. I'm not 100% sure if his point of view is like in the past or in the future. Nah, it's in the past. Well, I'm not really sure because it's written in like a diary entry kind of thing, but I'm not sure because it has this kind of like abstract feeling to it. It says the diary whenever his point of view comes up, but then the way whatever is being told, like I'm not sure that is a sign of his like mental illness or if it's a sign of like him going through a loop as a ghost. So yeah, it's giving me abstract, liking it, whatever. So I'm really interested in his character. I want to see how he's going to be taken on. Like, he's a vengeful ghost, and how he's going to take on Jake and what's going to happen. So I think we've met all the major characters. I'm not 100% sure how Benji plays into everything. Him and Jake doesn't really have like a close knit kind of relationship as brothers, but I want to see how he and he and Jake do whatever. And I think what we have left to meet is the love interest. I'm not really sure if there is a love interest. All I know is that it's gay, and it's me. I'm all for the gays. So yeah, those are my feelings about the book. I am vibing with it. So it passed the vibe check for now. I gotta see how it goes. Like, I'm just like 18% into it, so we'll see how it goes. So I recently started reading back The Taking of Jake Livingston, and since my last update, which was last week Wednesday, it's now Tuesday. I started reading it again yesterday, and I read the majority of it between yesterday and now. So I'm like 76% into the book. And I really love this book. Really. I'm doing an update before I go to work. Washed my hair this morning, which is never a good thing to do, but I did. And I'm just going to talk to you about my feelings on the book so far. So scrap what I said in the my first, second, or whatever updates about the diary and Sawyer. Like I said, I felt like I didn't know if he was talking about it before his death, or this is like him in a loop. But that's what I felt. But now I know it's like it's diary before his death, and it's pretty sad. They got me feeling for this boy, this psychotic boy. But that's what happens when nobody takes your mental health issues seriously. And that's what happens when people are ashamed of their kids. So getting to look into Sawyer's head a little bit more as the book goes further and further, they got me sympathizing with this little white boy. And I guess I should. Hey, it's still a school shooter. But for Sawyer's character, I do kind of quite like him. Even as a villain, I do kind of like being in the head of the person that snaps. I do. My hair is so not combed out, but I don't have the time to comb it out. So finger combing right now. I like being in the head of the person that's snapping. And for Jake, he's not as apathetic as I thought in the first 17% of the book. He It's really showing his feelings. He wants friends. He wants someone other than the person he's been friends with all his since he's been at the school. And I'm so glad he's found friends. At one point, I thought there wasn't going to be a love interest because I was like 30% into the book, and we still had no love interest. Like, why? So I thought it wasn't going to be that kind of book, but we get a love interest. They haven't really developed much. I kind of thought the little development we got, it was fast. I don't know if you understand what I mean. My hair is a whole mess right here. So it felt fast, and it also felt slow because there hasn't really been that much development. Like, I have no idea how much time has passed since the events in the book, none whatsoever, other than Sawyer's book diary when he writes and he puts the dates. And then we had that Halloween party, I think, I'm not sure, maybe. And yeah, but I'm going to tell you, I am really, really, like, I'm just rambling for the sake of rambling, but I really enjoy the book so far. Yep, I'm really enjoying the book. It's in the climax right now. I hope it won't be anticlimactic. I've met a few characters that I really enjoy, the side characters, like Fiona. I really like Fiona. She seems like she'd be good people for my guy Jake. And then we have Alistair, the love interest. I don't know, when Alistair showed up, I was kind of suspicious of him. This boy was way too sweet. Way too sweet. Way too sweet. But he was sweet. And then we have Benji, that I absolutely hate. Really, really hate. Like, he told, spoiler, he told Jake he hopes the ghost kills him, and I'm like, no matter how you and your sibling is disagreeing or having a fight, you do not wish death upon them. And he was absolutely serious. So that's your sibling, that's your brother, that's somebody who's been looking out for you all your life. But yeah, I'm just talking in circles. I'm enjoying the book. Ryan really put his foot in this one, and I am loving it. Absolutely loving it. But one thing I didn't like is that when I see people talk about Jake Livingston, or maybe I'm not looking, but I don't see it on my timeline, and yeah, or reviews, I'm not sure if I wasn't just looking at the right reviews, but there was attempted rape in this, and I don't see anybody talk about that. Sure, you're bound to find triggering things in books, but that one really caught me off guard. Like, that one was triggering for me. Like, there's homophobia in the book, there is racism in the book. Those I was expecting. I wasn't expecting the attempted rape, so that really caught me off guard. Made me a little sad, made my belly turn, made me relive trauma, but whatever. So I hope people talk about that when they talk about Jake Livingston. And yeah, that's it for this update. So I am finally finished with the taking of Jake Livingston. I finished this a few days ago, to be honest. I just couldn't find my time to make my final thoughts, and I didn't have work today, so even though I'm still filming in the evening, but we're gonna do it. So for the taking of Jake Livingston, by the end of it, I gave it 3 out of 5 stars. When I made my last update, it was still at a 4 stars for me. I was enjoying the writing, I was vibing with it, but I did say in my last update, I hope it won't be anticlimactic, the final events of the novel. And it wasn't anticlimactic per se, but more like it felt like it dragged on. Like it was like the final events of the novel felt like it was too long. I was not that interested in the final battle between Jake and Sawyer, or Saya, whatever my name, Sawyer, whatever. And yeah, I was just not that interested in the outcome of the fight because it felt so long, and I was cringing for most of the fight, but it was still a good story. The taking of Jake Livingston, I like seeing how Jake moved from an apathetic character in the first like 50 pages of the novel, and then going on to somebody who cares about what's happening. I mean, like, I don't think he was definitely like apathetic. He was just more good at hiding his true feelings and, you know, staying by himself and whatever. And, you know, he meets his love interest and he gets a new friend, and all the bullshit that's happening between him and the dead world. So we see him kind of grew into a different sort of character, but I still felt like it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough in the sense that, hey, I love this character, this is my child, this is my son, but something got to give. It's either I am reading a book for a likable character or a good plot. And like I said, I was vibing with the plot for the first 70% of the book, and the next 30% is like it dragged on. I was cringing every time a new power of Jake shows up, and I'm like when the battle of him and Sawyer happened, and I'm like, who taught you to do that? Who taught you to do that? They were like, it's the ancestors, man, it's the ancestors. And I'm like, okay. I was just kind of cringing, and I love anything that has to do with ancestors, but I was cringing. So but I like the outcome for a certain character. Big up Ryan, like, we don't want no rapist surviving. Love that. But the events leading up to that part was like, I was questioning it because okay, Jake said he's going to do this, but then Jake is off page for like what, the entirety of that chapter, where I thought Jake was gonna do shit, but Jake didn't. And I mean, like, I get it. It was Ryan's way of doing what many of us wanted to happen to this certain character, but like, it doesn't make sense in the plot of the book. Like, Jake was talking big, and then we have certain points that had me thinking, when things happen, like, isn't this going to implicate Jake in a criminal activity, because his blood is all over the crime scene? and we don't know what happens. Like, I could not get it out of my head. Like, did the car crashing there? Did that, like, it just, the last part of the book just didn't make sense. But I enjoyed most of the book, so I am not really complaining, but that 30% just kind of lost me. And I really do enjoy certain characters. I do wish Alistair, the love interest, showed up just a teeny weeny little bit more, like a real big more. He came up 30% in the novel, and then he was gone for most of it. But it's not a romance novel, but I like romance, so forgive me if I just wanted the love interest to show up a little bit more. But can't complain too hard. I did not like how Benji's and Jake's relationship was resolved. I mean, they're siblings. Siblings don't really say sorry to each other that much, but Benji did wish death on Jake, and I was like, I needed that boy to say sorry for that. So, like, sorry. I do not care if you believe him that ghosts are real now. You just need to say sorry for wishing death on that boy, because what the fuck were you doing? What? But we didn't get that. I mean, they're good now, but we just didn't get it, and I wanted it to, and it just doesn't sit right with me. You can't wish that to somebody in front of their face. Like, I know you were angry, but they always say you say the most truthful things in anger, which I do not believe, but you wish that on that boy. So that's my thoughts on the novel. It's good. I like the characters. I like most of the book. I guess the way they depicted Sire was it was boring. It was dragged on, but I enjoyed the book. And for a debut whatever book, it was a good solid first book, and I am interested to see how Ryan grows as a writer, because even though I enjoyed the book for the most part, some of the writing was iffy. Like, there were some scenes where I felt like I was supposed to be grossed out, but the way they were written just didn't gross me out. So, you know, so I'd love to see how Ryan grows as an author in his career. Like, I want to see that. And also, by the time I finished The Taking of Jake Livingston, it was a bestseller, and I'm so happy for him, because the black gays are winning. The black horror books are winning, and I love that. I love that. So yeah, The Taking of Jake Livingston was 3.5 out of 5 stars. On Goodreads, I gave it 4 stars because, you know, no half stars. Like, Goodreads, what's up? So yeah, I enjoyed the book for the most part, and that is the wrap up of this reading vlog. Like, yeah, peace.